Now that the first round games are over with, you really think about it, it's not really a surprise that a lot of the games ended the way they did. And I know a lot of people that are Alabama stands, Miami stands, and any stands or any teams that got snubbed out of the college playoff, they're going to feel like they should have been in there based on the outcomes of how these games went. But I want to do is do a quick video on, why these games kind of went the way they went. And if you look at the grand scheme of things, there wasn't far expected that could have been blowouts. So before I get started on this video, I want you to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you like the content you're about to hear. So let's get right into it. So when you talk about these college playoff games that happened over the course of the weekend, there was all about styles and matchups. And so when you look at, say, the game against Notre Dame and Indiana, you kind of knew that game was going to be a blowout from the beginning because, again, this Indiana team hasn't played anybody all season. And the only team they lost to was I want to say it was Ohio State, and they got exposed. So it was like then we kind of knew that this Indiana team was going to have troubles playing against the big boys, but we had to let them get into the college playoff because they won on the field and they took care of business on the field. But we kind of could see that based on their record, based on who they played, that when they played with some big boys like Notre Dame, that they could get exposed, and they got exposed. Now moving on to the SMU Penn State game. When you talk about that game as well, that's another team that didn't play nobody throughout the course of the season. And when they did play a competent team in Clemson, and when they played solid teams, they got exposed. And when you look at Penn State being in the Big Ten, I think the Big Ten is a better conference than the ACC. They put it on display. So let's talk about the Texas and Clemson game. Now, that game was of all the games, that was probably the most interesting game. It was kind of sort of competitive, but again, it was still somewhat of a blowout as well. Texas was in full control of this game. You look at the way Clemson played against Georgia earlier on in the season, it looked a lot like that in this game. You just look at, they was unable to move the ball after the first drive. They struggled throughout most of the game. So again, man, these teams playing, it wasn't far stretch for these guys to get blown out, because we've seen these guys play earlier in the season when they played against, like I said, better teams, and Clemson did not look good. They was probably one of the more weakest teams to make it into the playoffs, because based on their record and also just based on just like their play, you just knew that they would be the weakest. And finally, let's talk about the Ohio State-Tennessee game. And when you talk about that game, bruh, I was shocked that it was a blowout. But again, when you look at this Ohio State team, it looked like they was pissed off, trying to take their frustration out from that Michigan loss and let the world know that they're a better team than what they saw in that Michigan game. I don't think Tennessee would have won that game, no way, based on how Ohio State came out. They came out so aggressive in that game, and I don't think Tennessee could recover from it, man. They just got blitzed. So, again, man, for all you people that feel as if your team got snubbed, no, your team did get snubbed, man. The selection committee got it right. And although there were blowouts in these games, I still think that the next round of games is going to be a lot better. So, and I'm hoping the next round of games will be a lot better. So, get in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, man. Let me know what you thought about the first round of games, man. And do you think that next year or the upcoming years that we'll see the same results in these games? Get in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. It's your boy Joe, one half of the Co-Pilots Podcast. Subscribe to the channel, man. I love you guys. Peace.